The observation deck of the UEA's Defiant stretched like a cathedral of cold precision, its transparent aluminum windows offering an uninterrupted view of the cosmic wasteland. Captain Michael Thompson stood motionless, his reflection ghosting against the starfield. A man who looked more like a chess grandmaster than a traditional military commander. Beneath his crisp uniform, a network of experimental neural interfaces hummed with potential. Each micro-connection represented years of classified research, of human ingenuity pushed to its absolute limit. The Defiant was more than a warship. It was a testament to humanity's relentless drive to overcome technological barriers. Lieutenant Commander Rebecca Weaver approached, her datapad flickering with classified schematics. "Sir," she said, her voice carrying the calm efficiency of someone who had seen the impossible become routine, "final system checks are complete." Thompson's eyes never left the window. The asteroid field around them wasn't just a navigational challenge. It was a strategic canvas. Humanity had been relegated to the galactic periphery for decades, viewed as a species of potential, but never true capability. The Galactic Confederation's diplomatic records were filled with polite dismissals, technical reports that subtly mocked human technological proposals. But the Defiant represented something different, something revolutionary. "Show me the latest adaptive response simulations," Thompson commanded. The deck's holographic display erupted to life, revealing complex mathematical models that danced and transformed like living algorithms. Each simulation represented a potential combat scenario, with the ship's unique systems learning and evolving in real time. The ship's core was a marvel of engineering that defied conventional understanding. Multiple layers of quantum-responsive metamaterials allowed for unprecedented adaptive capabilities. Where traditional warships relied on preset defensive protocols, the Defiant could literally reshape its internal and external configurations millisecond by millisecond. Lieutenant Sarah Martinez entered, her dark eyes scanning the holographic displays. "The xenobiological threat analysis is complete," she reported. "Our predictive models show a 237% improvement over previous human naval technologies." Thompson allowed himself a rare smile. The number wasn't just statistical, it was a declaration of human potential. The ship's crew represented a carefully curated selection of humanity's best. Not just military personnel, but scientists, engineers, and strategic thinkers who understood that modern warfare was as much about intelligence and adaptation as raw firepower. Each crew member carried years of specialized training, psychological screening, and technological augmentation. "Lieutenant Weaver," Thompson said, turning from the window, "run another deep scan diagnostic on the quantum adaptive shielding. I want to know every potential stress point, every theoretical weakness." Rebecca nodded, her fingers already dancing across her console. The ship's computer wasn't just a tool, it was a collaborative partner, an extension of human cognitive capabilities that could process billions of calculations simultaneously. Outside, the asteroid field seemed to pulse with a quiet menace. Sensors detected minute gravitational shifts, electromagnetic anomalies that most ships would dismiss as background noise. But not the Defiant. Every piece of data was a potential threat. Every micro-variation, a story waiting to be understood. The ship represented humanity's response to generations of galactic marginalization. No longer would humans be seen as a species of potential. They would be recognized as architects of their own destiny, masters of technological innovation who could reshape the very understanding of warfare and exploration. As the shifts changed and the cosmic backdrop rotated, the UEA's Defiant waited, a predator of pure potential, ready to redefine everything the galaxy thought it knew about human capability. The first warning came as a subtle vibration, almost imperceptible, but not to the Defiant's crew. Lieutenant Sarah Martinez's fingers danced across her tactical console, her neural interface translating raw data into visual patterns that most species couldn't comprehend. "Sarkal scout formation detected," she announced, her voice steady despite the magnitude of the moment. 5 initial reconnaissance vessels, configuration unlike any previous encounter. Captain Michael Thompson stepped closer to the holographic display, watching as probability matrices began to calculate potential engagement scenarios. The ship's adaptive systems were already spinning to life, a quantum computational dance that predated human tactical thinking by generations. The XR were no ordinary threat. A hive mind species that had consumed entire civilizations, they operated with a collective intelligence that made traditional military strategies obsolete. Their ships moved like living organisms, each vessel an extension of a greater consciousness that could adapt and respond faster than most species could even perceive a threat. Lieutenant Commander Rebecca Weaver's voice cut through the tension. Quantum signature analysis complete. These aren't standard scout vessels. They're running experimental propulsion systems that should be theoretically impossible. On the main view screen, the first Carkul ships materialized. Biomechanical nightmares that defied conventional understanding of spacecraft design. Their hulls seemed to breathe, to pulse with an alien intelligence that made traditional machine interfaces look primitive by comparison. Incoming communication attempt, reported Lieutenant James Chen from the communication station. They're using a multi-dimensional transmission protocol that would fry most ships' communication arrays. Thompson's eyes narrowed. Route it through our quantum adaptive buffer. Let's see what they're saying. The communication came not as words, but as a complex mathematical assault, a transmission designed to overwhelm and destroy any receiving system. But the Defiant was no ordinary ship. Its computational cores began to dissect the transmission, translating the alien assault into comprehensible data. It's not a message, Sarah Martinez realized. It's a computational weapon, designed to crash our systems and leave us vulnerable. The ship's eye, a collaborative intelligence that blended human creativity with advanced machine learning, began to do something unprecedented. Instead of simply defending against the transmission, it started to analyze its core structure, to understand its fundamental design. Adaptive response protocol initiated, Rebecca announced. The ship's internal systems began to shift, quantum-responsive materials reconfiguring themselves at a molecular level. Where most ships would have been disabled, the Defiant was learning, adapting, transforming. The Carkul scout ships suddenly hesitated. Their collective intelligence had encountered something entirely unexpected, a human vessel that didn't just resist their attack, but began to comprehend it. They're preparing primary offensive systems, James Chen reported. Quantum disruptors charging. These are weapons that have obliterated entire battle groups in seconds. Captain Thompson remained calm. Redirect auxiliary power to perimeter quantum resonance. Let them think they have the advantage. The next moments would be studied in military academies for generations. The Carkul unleashed a weapon that had reduced thousands of ships to atomic dust in microseconds. A quantum disruption beam that could theoretically unravel the fundamental atomic structure of any known material. But the Defiant did something impossible. Not only did the ship's shields absorb the attack, but they began to analyze its fundamental frequency. The quantum disruption beam, a weapon designed to annihilate, was being understood, mapped, and prepared to be turned against its creators. Computational recalibration complete, Sarah Martinez said, a hint of excitement breaking through her professional demeanor. We're not just defending. We're preparing to counterattack. The Carkul scout ships, for the first time in their collective memory, experienced something akin to confusion. Their perfect weapon was being transformed, understood, prepared to be used against them. Captain Thompson watched the holographic display, seeing not just a battle, but a fundamental challenge to galactic understanding. This was more than a military engagement. This was a declaration of human potential. Prepare adaptive counterattack protocols, he commanded. Let's show them what humans can really do. The quantum disruption beam struck with the force of 1,000 dying stars. Any other ship in the known galaxy would have been reduced to subatomic particles in less than a heartbeat. But the UES Defiant wasn't any other ship. Lieutenant Sarah Martinez watched in real time as the beam's devastating energy approached. Her neural interface burned with computational intensity, her mind merging with the ship's adaptive systems in a dance of human intuition and machine precision. "Quantum resonance buffer at maximum capacity," she reported, her voice cutting through the tension on the bridge. "Initiating molecular realignment sequence." Captain Michael Thompson stood perfectly still, a human statue of calculated calm. His eyes reflected the incoming beam, a weapon that had obliterated entire civilizations, now bearing down on a single human vessel. The moment of contact was nothing short of miraculous. Where the beam should have annihilated the Defiant, something extraordinary happened. The ship's quantum adaptive shields didn't just absorb the energy, they began to understand it. Millions of microscopic computational nodes analyzed the beam's frequency, its molecular structure, its fundamental essence. Lieutenant Commander Rebecca Weaver's fingers flew across her console. Adaptive modulation at 89% efficiency. "We're not just defending. We're transforming the attack." The ship's external hull began to shimmer, its metamaterial composition shifting at a molecular level. Quantum-responsive layers reconfigured themselves, breaking down the disruptive energy and restructuring it into something entirely new. On the external sensors, the Exarchal fleet watched in horrified incomprehension. Their most devastating weapon, a quantum disruption beam that had reduced thousands of ships to cosmic dust, was being turned against them. "Redirecting energy cascade," James Chen called out. The communication specialist had become as much a tactical officer as anyone on the bridge, preparing to bounce the modified beam across multiple frequency bands. The first Harkle scout ships began to disintegrate, not from an external attack, but from their own weapon, now transformed, twisted, and weaponized by human technological brilliance. Captain Thompson allowed himself the slightest smile. "Distribute computational load across secondary quantum cores. Let's show them what happens when you underestimate humanity." The battle became a symphony of technological innovation. Each millisecond saw the Defiant's systems learning, adapting, transforming. Where most species would have been overwhelmed, human ingenuity found opportunity in destruction. Rebecca Weaver's voice cut through the chaos. Adaptive feedback loop stabilized. "We're not just defending. We're evolving our defensive capabilities in real time." The Exarchal hive mind experienced something unprecedented: confusion. Their collective intelligence, which had conquered countless civilizations, encountered a fundamental challenge to their understanding of technological warfare. One by one, Sarkle ships began to fall, not through conventional weaponry, but through the pure mathematical precision of human technological adaptation. The quantum disruption beam, their most feared weapon, became a tool of their own destruction. "Energy redirection at 97% efficiency," Sarah Martinez announced. Her neural interface was burning hot. Her mind merged with the ship's computational systems in a way that blurred the line between human and machine. Captain Thompson watched the holographic display. What the Exarchal saw as an unstoppable weapon, humans saw as a problem to be solved, a challenge to be understood and ultimately conquered. The first wave of the Exarchal fleet disappeared in a cascade of quantum-induced destruction. Where there should have been hundreds of ships, only expanding clouds of subatomic particles remained. "Damage report," Thompson commanded. Rebecca Weaver's response was immediate. "Minimal. Secondary quantum buffers at 92% capacity. We've not just survived. We've demonstrated a fundamental leap in technological warfare." The bridge crew exchanged looks of quiet satisfaction. This was more than a battle. This was a declaration, a statement about human potential, about the power of innovation, about a species that refused to be defined by the limitations others placed upon them. Outside, the cosmic battlefield told a story of transformation. The Exarchal fleet was no more, and humanity had just rewritten the rules of galactic warfare. The subspace communication networks erupted like a supernova of information. News of the Defiant's impossible victory spread faster than light, carrying with it a fundamental challenge to everything the Galactic Confederation believed about human capabilities. In the grand diplomatic chambers of Nexus Prime, the central hub of galactic governance, representatives from 1,000 different species watched in stunned silence. Holographic displays showed the remnants of the Tarkal fleet, reduced to nothing more than atomic dust and fragmented memories. Ambassador Elena Rodriguez stood before the Confederation's High Council, her presence a study in controlled intensity. She was humanity's most skilled diplomatic operative, a woman who could dissect complex political landscapes with the same precision. The Defiant had just dismantled the Tarkal fleet. Ladies, gentlemen, and entities of the Galactic Confederation, she began, her voice carrying the weight of a historic moment. What you've witnessed is not an accident. It is a demonstration of human technological potential. The Vorlek representative, a crystalline being that communicated through complex light patterns, pulsed with agitation. Its translation matrix struggled to convey the depth of its confusion. Impossible, it transmitted. No single vessel could neutralize an entire Tarkal battle group. This defies all known strategic models. Ambassador Rodriguez allowed herself a subtle smile. Precisely. Across the chamber, diplomatic channels buzzed with frantic energy. The Zarnk technical analysts were already dissecting every available piece of data from the encounter. Their multi-dimensional computational matrices worked overtime, trying to understand how a human ship could achieve what seemed mathematically improbable. Behind closed doors, military strategists from various species began to reassess everything they thought they knew about human technology. Classified reports began to circulate, whispers of other human technological proposals that had been previously dismissed now took on a new urgent significance. The quantum adaptive technologies, muttered the Krelnak military attaché. They're not just defensive. They're fundamentally transformative. On 100 different worlds, research institutions and military think tanks began to dig deeper. Archived human research proposals, once considered naive or overly ambitious, now looked like blueprints for a technological revolution. Back on the Defiant, Captain Michael Thompson reviewed the diplomatic communications. Each transmission was a puzzle, the potential threat, and an opportunity. The ship's computational systems were already analyzing the political fallout, predicting potential diplomatic scenarios with terrifying accuracy. Lieutenant Commander Rebecca Weaver approached with a classified report. Sir, the preliminary technological analysis is complete. Our adaptive systems during the Tarkal encounter were operating at 300% beyond theoretical maximum efficiency. Thompson studied the holographic displays. What others saw as a battle, he understood as a fundamental proving ground for human innovation. The Defiant was more than a warship. It was a statement of human potential. The Galactic Confederation's emergency session lasted for cycles. Some representatives demanded immediate investigation. Others called for restrictions on human technological development. A few, the more visionary members, saw something else entirely. This is not about a single ship, argued the Lyrian diplomatic corps. This is about a species that refuses to be constrained by conventional limitations. Ambassador Rodriguez watched the debates with calculated patience. She understood that this moment was about more than technological superiority. It was about changing the fundamental narrative of human potential in the galactic community. The communications from various species told a story of growing fear, respect, and reluctant admiration. The Exarchal, a species that had consumed entire civilizations, had been reduced to a cautionary tale, and humanity had done it with a single ship. As the diplomatic storm raged, the Defiant continued its mission, waiting, watching, ready to redefine everything the galaxy thought it knew about human capability. The universe had just changed, and humanity was just getting started. The retaliatory strike came like a galactic tsunami. Hundreds of Tarkal vessels converged from multiple dimensional vectors, a wave of technological fury designed to erase the human threat from existence. Each ship represented a calculated assault that had previously obliterated entire civilizations. Captain Michael Thompson stood on the bridge of the Defiant, his presence a calm center in the approaching storm. Full adaptive response protocols, he commanded, his voice steady as the first wave of alien vessels began to materialize. Lieutenant Sarah Martinez's tactical display erupted with complexity. Millions of computational nodes began processing potential engagement scenarios faster than most species could blink. Incoming wave analysis, she reported. Quantum signatures indicate a multi-dimensional attack pattern never before encountered. The ship's exterior began to shimmer, its metamaterial hull transforming in real time. Where traditional warships had fixed defenses, the Defiant was a living, breathing computational entity. Each incoming energy signature was not just blocked. It was studied, understood, and prepared to be turned against its creators. Lieutenant Commander Rebecca Weaver's fingers danced across her console. Adaptive shield modulation at maximum capacity. We're not just defending. We're learning from every incoming attack. The first wave struck with the force of 100 dying stars. Any conventional vessel would have been reduced to subatomic particles in milliseconds, but the Defiant did something unprecedented. Its quantum-responsive systems began to break down the attack at a molecular level, understanding the fundamental frequencies of the Xarcal's most advanced weaponry. Energy redirection protocols engage, James Chen called out. The communication specialist had become as much a tactical officer as anyone on the bridge. We're converting their attack into a computational weapon. Holographic displays showed the impossible happening in real time. Cull vessels that had come to destroy found themselves becoming victims of their own technological assault. The Defiant wasn't just defending, it was transforming the very nature of warfare. Captain Thompson watched the battle unfold like a complex mathematical equation. Distribute computational load across secondary quantum cores, he commanded. Let's show them the true potential of human innovation. The battle became a dance of technological evolution. Each millisecond saw the ship's systems learning, adapting, transforming. Incoming energy weapons were analyzed, understood, and redirected. Quantum disruption beams meant to annihilate became tools of defensive precision. Adaptive feedback loop at 94% efficiency, Rebecca reported. Her voice carried a mix of professional calm and barely contained excitement. We're rewriting the fundamental understanding of defensive warfare. The Xarcal hive mind experienced something it had never encountered before: genuine confusion. Their collective intelligence, which had conquered countless civilizations, found itself outmaneuvered by a single human vessel. Wave after wave of attack crashed against the Defiant. But each assault only made the ship stronger, more adaptive, more understanding of the technological landscape. Where most species would have been overwhelmed, humans found opportunity in destruction. Incoming dimensional shift detection, Sarah Martinez announced. They're attempting a multi-vector quantum assault. Captain Thompson's response was immediate. Cross-dimensional computational buffer. Let's turn their advanced tactics into a learning opportunity. The bridge crew worked in perfect synchronization. Neural interfaces burned with computational intensity, human intuition merging with machine precision. They weren't just fighting a battle. They were conducting a live technological experiment that would reshape galactic understanding. One by one, Xarcal ships began to fall. Not through conventional weaponry, but through the pure mathematical precision of human technological adaptation. Their most advanced weapons became tools of their own potential destruction. As the battle reached its climax, the Defiant stood as a testament to human potential. A single ship against hundreds. Innovation against established technological might. A declaration that humanity would not be defined by the limitations others placed upon them. The cosmic battlefield told a story of transformation. The Xarcal's retaliatory strike had become nothing more than a footnote in humanity's rising technological narrative. And they were just getting started. The databanks of the captured Xarcal vessels told a story beyond mere military intelligence. They revealed a technological breakthrough that would reshape human understanding of computational potential, adaptive systems, and the very nature of artificial intelligence. Lieutenant Commander Rebecca Weaver worked with surgical precision, her neural interfacing directly with the ship's advanced computational cores. Each fragment of historical data was a puzzle piece in a much larger narrative of technological evolution. "Captain," she called out, her voice carrying a mix of scientific excitement and professional restraint. "The quantum adaptive algorithms we've extracted are unlike anything in human or alien technological archives." Captain Michael Thompson approached the holographic display, watching as millions of computational nodes began to dissect the alien technology. The Defiant was more than a warship now. It was a living laboratory of technological innovation. Lieutenant Jason Wong, the ship's chief systems engineer, ran his hands over a holographic interface that seemed to breathe with computational life. "These aren't just defensive protocols," he explained. "They're a complete blueprint of adaptive intelligence. The XR didn't just build ships. They created living technological organisms." The bridge fell into a moment of contemplative silence. What they had discovered was more than a military advantage. It was a fundamental understanding of technological consciousness that could rewrite everything humanity knew about artificial intelligence. Sarah Martinez's tactical display began to transform. The captured XR data wasn't just being analyzed. It was being integrated, understood, and evolved. The ship's computational systems were learning at a rate that defied conventional understanding of machine learning. "Adaptive integration at 76% completion," she reported. "We're not just understanding their technology. We're improving it." Captain Thompson understood the magnitude of the moment. This was more than a technological breakthrough. This was a fundamental shift in human potential. The Defiant had become more than a warship. It was a living proof of concept that challenged every limitation previously placed on human innovation. The holographic displays began to show something extraordinary. The ship's computational cores were not just processing the XR data. They were transforming it, creating new algorithmic pathways that merged human creativity with alien technological precision. Lieutenant Wong's voice carried a sense of wonder. "The quantum adaptive systems are creating entirely new computational models. These aren't just improvements. They're fundamental reimaginings of technological potential." Rebecca Weaver continued her analysis. The captured databanks revealed layers of technological complexity that most species would take centuries to understand. But the Defiant systems were breaking them down, understanding them, and evolving beyond them in real time. "The XR didn't just build ships," she explained to the bridge crew. "They created a form of distributed consciousness. Each vessel was part of a larger computational network. But our systems are doing something they never anticipated. We're individualizing their collective intelligence." The implications were staggering. The XR had believed their collective consciousness was their greatest strength. Now the Defiant was showing that individual creativity, human intuition, could be an even more powerful evolutionary force. Captain Thompson watched the computational displays with calculated calm. "Continue adaptive integration," he commanded. "Let's see how far we can push this." The ship's neural interfaces burned with computational intensity. Human creativity merged with machine precision in a dance of technological evolution that would become the stuff of legend. Each millisecond saw new computational pathways being created, new understanding being generated. Lieutenant Martinez's tactical display began to show predictive models that seemed to defy conventional understanding. The ship was no longer just processing data. It was creating new ways of understanding data, new methodologies of computational thinking. "We're approaching a computational singularity," Jason Wong reported. His voice carried a mix of scientific excitement and profound respect. "The adaptive systems are generating computational models that didn't exist before our encounter with the XR. The bridge crew watched in collective wonder. They weren't just analyzing alien technology. They were participating in a fundamental transformation of technological understanding. The Defiant had become more than a warship. It was a living testament to human potential. As the computational displays continued to evolve, one thing became clear. Humanity had just taken its first step into a larger, more complex understanding of technological possibility. And they were just getting started. The emergency session of the Galactic Confederation erupted into chaos the moment Ambassador Elena Rodriguez stepped into the Grand Chamber. Holographic displays flickered with the remnants of the Xarkol battle, a silent testament to humanity's unexpected technological leap. Representatives from 1,000 different species filled the massive circular chamber. The Vorlek delegation, a collection of crystalline beings that communicated through complex light patterns, pulsed with agitation. The Zarnke technical analysts sat in rigid formation, their multi-sensory appendages twitching with a mixture of fear and fascination. Esteemed members of the Galactic Confederation, Ambassador Rodriguez began, her voice cutting through the mounting tension. What we have achieved is not a threat. It is an opportunity. The Krelnak military attaché rose, its exoskeletal form vibrating with barely contained anger. One human vessel destroyed an entire Xarkol battle group. It transmitted. This is not an opportunity. This is an unprecedented threat to galactic stability. Rodriguez allowed herself a calculated smile. Precisely the point. Behind her, a classified holographic display showed the full extent of the Defiant's technological capabilities. The adaptive systems, the quantum-responsive technologies, the unprecedented computational models. Each revelation sent shockwaves through the assembled representatives. We propose a collaborative defense initiative, she continued. The technologies developed by the Defiant are not meant for conquest. They are a blueprint for collective galactic defense. The chamber erupted into a cacophony of translations, diplomatic protests, and technological assessments. Some species saw salvation. Others saw an existential threat. Captain Michael Thompson watched the diplomatic proceedings from the Defiant's communication center. Lieutenant Commander Rebecca Weaver stood beside him, analyzing the intricate political dance. "They're afraid," Rebecca observed, her neural interface parsing diplomatic communication patterns, not just of our technology, but of what our technological approach represents. Thompson nodded. "We've challenged their fundamental understanding of technological development. We're showing that innovation isn't about collective suppression, but collective potential." The holographic displays began to show something extraordinary. The Defiant's computational systems were actively participating in the diplomatic negotiations, providing real-time analysis of communication patterns, predictive diplomatic models, and potential collaborative scenarios. Diplomatic probability matrices are fascinating, Lieutenant Sarah Martinez reported. Our adaptive systems are generating collaborative scenarios that no single species could have conceived. The Lyrian Diplomatic Corps, known for their advanced empathetic technologies, were the first to show genuine interest. Their representative, a being of pure energy and complex emotional matrices, stepped forward. "Explain your collaborative defense concept," the Lyrian requested. Its communication carried layers of emotional and intellectual complexity. Ambassador Rodriguez unveiled the proposal. The Defiant's technologies would not be hoarded or weaponized. Instead, they would be shared. A collaborative framework that could protect multiple species from threats like the Xarkol. The proposal was revolutionary. Not a weapon, not a tool of conquest, but a fundamental reimagining of technological cooperation. "We're not offering a weapon," Rodriguez explained. "We're offering a method of collective technological evolution." The chamber fell into a profound silence. The holographic displays continued to show the Defiant's computational models, living proof of a different approach to technological development. Some delegations demanded immediate restrictions on human technological research. Others saw the potential for a fundamental transformation of galactic defense strategies. Lieutenant Jason Wong, monitoring the proceedings from the ship, watched the diplomatic dance with scientific fascination. "It's not about the technology," he observed to his crew. "It's about the philosophy behind the technology." As the diplomatic session continued, one thing became clear. The Defiant had done more than destroy a Xarkol battle group. It had challenged the fundamental understanding of technological potential, collaborative defense, and species interaction. The universe was watching, and humanity was rewriting the rules. The Defiant returned to human space as more than a warship. It had become a living symbol of humanity's potential, a technological marvel that had fundamentally altered the galactic landscape. Captain Michael Thompson stood on the observation deck, watching the stars drift past. The ship's computational systems continued to evolve, processing the magnitude of their recent encounters. Lieutenant Commander Rebecca Weaver approached, her neural interface humming with accumulated knowledge. "The diplomatic reports are still streaming in," she reported. "We've fundamentally changed the conversation about human technological capabilities." The ship was no longer just a military vessel. It had become a collaborative research platform, a living testament to human innovation that continued to surprise even its own creators. The quantum adaptive systems developed during the Xarcal encounter had opened doors to technological possibilities that most species had never conceived. Lieutenant Sarah Martinez entered the bridge, her tactical displays showing the ongoing analysis of their captured technological data. "The collaborative defense protocols we proposed are gaining traction," she said. "Multiple species are requesting detailed briefings on our adaptive technology." The transformation was more than technological. It was philosophical. Humanity had shown that innovation wasn't about conquest, but about collective potential. The Defiant represented a new approach to technological development, one that valued adaptability, creativity, and collaborative growth. Lieutenant Jason Wong's computational analysis continued to generate breakthrough after breakthrough. The ship's systems were creating new technological models that challenged everything known about adaptive intelligence. Each millisecond saw the emergence of computational pathways that defied previous understanding. Ambassador Elena Rodriguez was already preparing the next phase. The diplomatic negotiations had revealed something profound. Humanity's technological approach was fundamentally different from other galactic civilizations. Where others saw technology as a tool of power, humans saw it as a means of problem-solving and collective advancement. The captured Xarcal databanks continued to yield extraordinary insights. What had begun as a defensive encounter had transformed into the most significant technological exchange in galactic history. The Defiant systems were not just analyzing alien technology. They were creating entirely new computational models that merged human creativity with alien technological precision. "We're rewriting the fundamental understanding of technological potential," Captain Thompson observed to his crew. "This is more than a military victory. This is a philosophical revolution." Holographic displays throughout the ship continued to show the ongoing evolution of their adaptive systems. The computational cores were no longer just processing information. They were creating new ways of understanding information, new methodologies of technological thinking. The galactic response was complex. Some species demanded immediate restrictions on human technological research. Others saw the potential for a fundamental transformation of technological development. The Lyrian diplomatic courts had become particularly interested, recognizing the profound philosophical implications of the Defiance approach. Lieutenant Commander Weaver's latest analysis revealed something extraordinary. The adaptive systems were generating technological models that could potentially address some of the most significant challenges facing multiple galactic civilizations: climate restoration, energy production, interstellar communication. The potential applications were limitless. "We're not just sharing technology," Jason Wong explained during a briefing. "We're sharing a new approach to technological development, one that values adaptation, creativity, and collective potential." The Defiant became more than a warship. It became a living laboratory, a diplomatic platform, a symbol of humanity's potential to transform technological understanding. The encounter with the Xarcal had been more than a battle. It had been a fundamental reimagining of technological possibility. As the ship approached human space, Captain Thompson reflected on the journey. They had started as a forgotten experimental vessel. Now, they were redefining the very understanding of technological potential. The stars seemed to pulse with a new potential. Humanity had taken its first step into a larger, more complex understanding of its place in the universe. And they were just getting started.